Renovating an old Stuart steam engine, Part 10. Making gaskets for the steam chest and steam chest cover. It is a simple job if you have the correct tools. Setting the slide valve to the optimum position in the steam chest so that it moves equidistantly over the cylinder ports, and attaching the eccentric rod to the valve fork. Setting the valve timing so that admission is just before the top and bottom of the stroke. Once the position of the eccentric is finally set, I perform a compressed air test. First I need to make two gaskets for the steam chest, one between the steam chest and the cylinder, and the other one between the steam chest and the steam chest cover. I showed part of this in the previous episode. In this clip I'm using a hole punch. It's easily the best way to make holes in gasket material. The gasket paper is folded in half so I can make two at once. It makes punching the holes slightly more difficult, but it's not rocket science. To allow access to the hole that I couldn't punch, I cut the gasket out. I trimmed the gasket along three sides, and now I can punch the final hole. Sometimes I drill these holes in gaskets, I've shown it many times, and I would usually use the respective cover as a guide for the drill. The punch is much better though, the holes are a lot neater. If you drill holes, then they tend to have a burr around the edge, and occasionally due to the vibration of the drill, sometimes the gaskets are inaccurate. This one isn't though, the holes are in the perfect position for the job. Quite a while ago I bought this special cutting mat and I've never used it, but here finally I'm using it. The idea is you can cut on it and it is self-healing. I suppose that there is a limit for this, but with the amount of gasket cutting I will be doing on it, I'm sure it will easily outlive me. Normally I would cut gaskets on a hard piece of wood, but this mat is much easier to cut on. I fitted the first gasket between the steam chest and the cylinder. Now comes the important part. It is vital to make sure that this gasket travels equidistantly between the ports. What I mean by that is, the ports in the cylinder block need to be uncovered exactly the same amount at the top port and the bottom port. I noticed that I'd cut the gasket a little bit inboard, so before I go any further I'm using the Stanley knife blade to trim it perfectly to match the steam chest. This valve needs to move up and down perfectly. I've temporarily connected the eccentric rod to the valve fork, and now I'm setting the position of the eccentric sheave at 90 degrees to the crank pin. It was a bit more difficult though on this engine the way it was made. Normally the grub screw would align with the largest lobe of the eccentric sheave, but it doesn't on this engine, it's slightly off, so I'm compensating for this. In this part of the video I went into autopilot mode and the eccentric sheave is not in the right position relative to the crank pin. I needed to slightly adjust the position of the eccentric rod relative to the valve fork. In the end it required just half a turn, and unfortunately, as all the parts of this engine seem to have been made together, suddenly the valve fork and eccentric rod were a tight fit. I didn't bother altering anything because they will wear in time. In this clip I'm trimming the outer part of the gasket from all around the steam chest. It's a very simple job using a sharp Stanley knife blade. This is the important bit. I rotated the engine with the eccentric rod attached to the valve spindle fork. Originally the valve timing on this engine was diabolical, although it did run okay. Here you can see what the plan is. I'm making the valve uncover both ports the same amount at top and bottom. Once I was happy with this, I fitted the gasket between the steam chest cover and the steam chest, followed by tightening all the nuts nice and evenly. I made a gasket for the exhaust outlet because originally it leaked in this area. After that I fitted the exhaust and I fitted the inlet just using Loctite 542. The flange was a really good fit on the steam chest, so it didn't really require a gasket. You can see some black oil on the eccentric strap. This is a sure sign that it needs some running in. The main thing is, when I connected the compressed air supply to the engine's inlet, and bear in mind it was very low pressure compressed air, As soon as I rotated the flywheel, just before top dead centre, this happened. What followed were many minute adjustments to the position of the eccentric. The main thing is the engine runs very smoothly at low pressure too, although because it's been radically disturbed it does need rerunning in. The engine is sat on a soundboard, which is my workbench, and it's like that for a reason. I like to hear the knocks. When I lift the engine off the soundboard, the knocking stops, and it really is running very well, and it will only get better as it runs in further. As I place the engine back on the bench, you can clearly hear the soundboard effect. One thing I notice about this engine is it is very powerful for its size. I needed to slightly retard the timing, and once again I messed about with the eccentric sheave. I'm slackening off the grub screw, then I move the position of the eccentric sheave and re-tighten it onto the crankshaft. To get this right, I'm using some low pressure compressed air, and I can hear when the admission starts, so I set it in between just before top dead centre and top dead centre. This setting is wrong though. The admission is too late, so the engine knocks because there is nothing to cushion the reciprocating parts. I ran the engine at a high speed. As you can see, it's trying to jump off the bench, and it's getting better and better. I find it very easy to get obsessed with valve timing. Not just on steam engines. When I was working on my old Land Rover, I fitted a new pump, and setting the timing of that really took some doing. But now it's in the right place, it runs a good bit faster, and the fuel economy is much better than it's ever been, which is a good thing at the moment with the price of diesel. This is about as good as I can get it. It will improve once the engine wears in. That's it for this episode. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.